The intersection of the Liberty and Nassau Street in New York sits around 5% of the gold reserves in the world. If you are wondering how, that's because it's the vault of the Federal Reserve Bank, the Central Bank of America. The bank is currently responsible for safeguarding the largest gold reserve in the world. How much? 6,190 tons of gold. The value of this gold is you and I could ever think of. And this immense reserve of gold needs to be in this place as it is important for the world economy to function properly. If you calculate the value of this gold, it will be more than 2 Jeff Bezoses. To understand why the government has put such large sum of gold underneath this vault, you need to understand how the central bank of a country works. The Federal Reserve Bank is a much more complicated institution if you don't know how and why it functions. So, let's break it down. 100 years back in the initial days of 1900s, banks were private businesses owned by different money lenders. No governing body would control or administer as a guardian for them. This created a big problem. If any bank went bankrupt, all the people depositing money in the bank would lose all their lifetime savings. And this problem would happen bank after bank, and people lost their savings regularly because of this problem. This problem would not stop without any administration. Rather, it would destroy the whole economy by eating up banks after banks. And this is not how banking system within an economy should work. And to solve the crisis within the growing banking system, the Federal Reserve Bank was established. It is the central bank of the country. And the main job of the central bank is to work as a father figure for all the banks out there. The Federal Reserve System creates the policies how banks should work, sets interest rates, and does all the things for safeguarding the banking system. Also, it makes sure what to do if a bank collapses. If a bank collapsed, eventually the Fed was them to solve the crisis for the depositors. Moving forward, if you have got the basics of the central bank, with the course of time, the USA has made itself the superpower of the world, and it anyhow made others believe that the central bank of the USA is the safest bank in the world. And eventually, it became a bank for other central banks. And as per the agreement, all these countries sent their gold reserves to the USA. So all these large sums of gold reserves are actually gold reserves of foreign central banks that has made America the license to safeguard their gold. These banks are the Nancy Bank, Deutsche Bundesbank, and the Bank d'Italia. You might be wondering why the hell those countries would give away their gold reserve to a foreign soil. There are 2 reasons behind this. The first reason is that the security of the USA Central Bank is the best security in the world, which is based on the best technology. Another factor here is, all the countries keeping their gold in the USA are friendly nations who have large trade relations. If all the gold of these countries remains in one place, it is easier to do trading. If Italy needs to provide Germany a sum of $1 million, the Fed would only move Italy's gold to Germany's shelf. Moving this gold is secured, and the transaction is really simple. As this much sensitive transactions are taking place, this vault needs to be highly secure. Now we will talk about how this vault actually works. The office building of the Federal Reserve Bank in New York is a 22-storied building. On the western part of a building, there is an elevator that goes 24 meters beneath the Earth's surface. This is even beneath the city's gas lines, and power lines too. As you all know, the bedrock of a building is necessary to hold its structure. The vault is only 7 meters higher than the bedrock, while the bedrock of the building is 31 meters beneath. The vault is 24 meters. The vault has 3 sections within it. The level A, B, and C. The first basement holds the securities owned by the bank. Second one is for currency storage, and the final one in the lowest level is for gold reserves. The first layer of security for entering the vault is a 90-ton steel cylinder, which is automatic and rotates to create a way for entrance only when the vault is opened. The whole vault area is monitored by cameras and motion sensors to find out any unwanted presence. If one has to go inside the vault for work, there will be 2 vault security staff and 1 auditor from the bank for constant monitoring. And without the presence of one of them, the doors wouldn't unlock. After entering the vault, there are 2 more combination locks. After that, there is a padlock to open. Again, all of the 3 staff has to give access for entering the vault. There are 122 different compartments within the vault where 122 nations have kept their gold. However, the vault staff doesn't even know which compartment represent which country. The compartments are rather numbered than named. So if the vault staff has to move gold from one country's vault to another, they won't know what are the 2 countries doing the transaction. And that's how 5% of world's gold is being safeguarded by the United States.